Okay, welcome everyone, and I'm really excited. This is the first episode of the Neutral Corner. I'm Ruth, and I'm here with Jordan.
Hello.
And let's keep it simple. All we're going to do is talk rubbish about boxing.
That's it. You got the expertise over there.
I don't know about that.
You got the fans' opinion over here, which I'm sure at some point we might disagree. And as it is the Neutral Corner, feel free to jump in the comments. Say whether you agree, disagree. Hopefully you do agree. Probably more with Ruth than myself, but we'll see where we land. It's been a busy week, I think, boxing-wise.
You know what? It's like I feel like it's been busy now for what, 2 years?
Yeah, it's just non-stop. But I think generally Jan, it's like notoriously slow.
Yeah.
But like this Jan, obviously, it feels like Dalton Smith won his title about 2 years ago now. But that was in the new year. Yeah, that's old news, which is mental. We didn't get Moses Atoma, but imagine if Atoma would have fought as well in this. It's just a crazy month of boxing.
It's been so busy. I mean, it's great for people like us who just like to bore everyone else with boxing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But we found each other now.
Exactly, so we can chat. We can chat.
Your wife's going to be all right.
she could finally stop going, oh, really, at 140 pounds? That's I really care about that, which is good for me.
You took her to the show on Saturday, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
And what did she think?
Her most constructive bit of criticism was the guy who fought Gradus Kraus. She said, I was like, what do you think of this fight? Like, this guy's like quite highly touted, you know, like Gradus, he's come from another promotion called GBM, and like, you know, they're working, and that's that promoter there, his name's Izzy, you know, Izzy as if like the big dude sat
You're
there.
really giving her the final bit.
I'm really like, you know, digging in and being like,
yeah,
like, so like he's here because of that, like he's sat in like, that's called a promoter's row, you know, so even though she's like, I thought we're meant to be ringside, there's people close, I'm like, yeah, that's the promoter's row, so like, they go there.
So you're actually explaining why you got the cheap seats?
Yeah. Trying to blag it, do you know what I mean? Like, promoter's got to go there. And she was like, okay, the most interesting part for her was the fact that Gradus came out and done the ring walk with his daughter.
Fair enough.
So she liked that. I was like, that's fair. But she didn't like the fact that his opponent's short. She was like, a bit tacky, if you ask me. She didn't like him.
Fair.
And I was like, fair enough. You're not a big fan of the short.
No,
so they were two things.
Yeah, fair enough.
I can't argue it.
No,
can't argue it.
But that show, how did you find it? I watched it on TV. You were there.
Yeah, which is why I wanted to. I think you hear it a lot, right? When you're actually in a venue, when you're actually at a fight, sometimes when it's clearly going one way, you're like, okay, cool. But sometimes you watch it back on TV and you're like, that is completely different to how I saw it. Okay, so if we start with the top of the card, right, which has had some reaction online.
Yeah.
When I came out, the only thing I saw was robbery. Oh, that girl was robbed. Fran Hennessey, she shouldn't have won. That's all I saw. In there, seemed like a close fight to me. So I think when the first scorecard got read out and it was 95-95, I went, no, that's fair. I thought 95-95 is fair. So then if you can say it's fair 95-95, when we spoke earlier, you made such a good point. You said, if you can call 95-95 fair, then someone winning, it's not really a robbery, is it? Like if someone clearly won, if she would have dropped Fran a couple of times and you was like, it was a complete shutout, like if Teofimo would have won at the weekend, that's a robbery.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I think it's hard to call that a robbery. I think Fran did really well with what she had in front of her. Like that Ellie girl came to win and came to fight. And it's interesting because I used to watch, before she turned over, when I first ever started training, like 2-3 years ago, whenever it was literally just before her debut, I watched Fran spar Nina Hughes.
Yeah.
So I think she was WBA champ at the time. And she just won the belt, or because she won the belt and then she didn't defend it for ages and all this stuff. But them two were sparring. And you could tell that, like, yeah, cool, she had a lot to learn, but there was really something there. And then she fought, I watched Fran again fight on I believe it was when Riakporhe fought Billum Smith. She was on that undercard, right? And I thought, that was a tough fight for her. She had a couple of gimmies, is rude, but you know what I'm trying to say. A couple of fights that she was always meant to win, and this was another one she was meant to win, but it was a bit more of a test. And I know that, like, her stock has been climbing because of her style. Like, she's good on camera, she dances, she's this, she's that. But I thought this was her first real test. You know, it's obviously an eliminator for the WBC silver. And I think because she's got the hype behind her, because she's not Ben Whittaker cocky, but she's got the, you know, that style, swag about her and stuff. It's either you win on a shutout or, you're useless. And that's the problem. Because it was such a close fight, I think people now are just screaming robbery. Do you know what I mean?
No, for sure. And also I think the thing is with boxer, and this happens, if a promotion has a face, you're one of the faces of a promotion, and they end up in a close fight, people are always going to scream robbery.
That's it.
Robbery. Because, I mean, people just love screaming bloody murder. And it was close. For me, it genuinely could have gone either way. I think the first round was a great round for Fran.
Yeah.
She did exactly what she needed to do. She kept it long, controlled her with her jab, used her feet well. But then it was like second round. All of a sudden it was like Ellie was like, she realised what she needed to do.
Yeah.
She got on her chest. She made it dirty. Lots of inside fighting, which is exactly where Fran didn't want to be. I think I'm a massive fan of both of these girls. And obviously I'm very aware of Fran because, like I said, she's one of the faces of boxer. She's got so much personality about her. She seems lovely. But I think something that's slightly different with women's boxing than with men's boxing, we're watching this fight and we're thinking this is a world title eliminator. And it is. But these girls, if you look at their record, they're novices.
Yeah, exactly.
One of them had 8. I think Ellie had 8 and Fran had 7. And that's not me being mean. I'm not saying, they're novices.
No, but I think the definitely not the talent pool, like, because, you know, there's so many talented women fighters out there, but in terms of just general numbers, there's just not as many people. Like, the depth is just not there. So you arrive at destination so much quicker, which is what we've seen, which is why
that's exactly what happens. Yeah. So I do think you get this gap with the girls, which you get it with the men, like the absolute best world champion in the world, who let's say Shakur. And then you might get another world champion who, yes, he's a world champion, but he's not on that level. You get that with the women, but with the women, I think it's even more staggered.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, you've got fighters like Clarissa Shields or Ellie Scottney or Fondora or Katie Taylor, who are the top of the top, like real pound for pound level, just elite. And then you've got some other girls that, through no fault of their own, it's just they need a bit more building within the pro ranks. And 9 times out of 10, that comes down to because they haven't got that amateur pedigree.
Yeah.
But I think she's so exciting, and like I said, comes across really nice. I also think, I hope someone's going to pick Ellie up if she's not already signed with someone. Yeah. Because watching her, I just thought she's got so much talent that I think she could be really, really even much better.
And an exciting style.
Exactly.
Come forward. Like...
She's got an interesting story. Apparently, she was kicked out of school when she was young. But it actually turned out it's because she's so intelligent. She found school so boring.
Oh, God. Obviously, what you said, she was fighting.
She ended up going to Cambridge.
Oh, really?
No, for real, yeah. So
Mad.
I think that's a cool story, right?
Well, that's the story I need to tell my dad, because he was always going to me, I don't want you to fight brains. I'm like, this girl's at flipping Cambridge and she's still choosing to fight. I'll tell you what I like about her as well. When I watched it, you could see it in her face. You can see stuff probably even clearer on TV. Once she got that cut, if anything, it spurred her on. You know, some people say, then they're dabbing, then they're worried, then they're this. No, not her, man. She just went, cool, let's have it. Went straight in, which was good. It was fan friendly to watch.
100%.
Do you know what I mean?
It was a great fight to watch on TV. I mean, this happens a lot with the women's fights as well. And when I mean it happens a lot, you have these super tight contests, and it's because it's 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And they're just so high tempo. And when the fight is that high tempo, it tends to be all about who's worked the hardest.
Yeah.
So someone like Fran, who I think sometimes would actually benefit from the longer rounds, because you can make the most of your long shots. You can kind of, ease your way into the fight. Whereas Ellie, I think that higher tempo obviously suits her. I think going forward, Fran needs to work out how she can box on the inside and make it work for her.
Which was interesting to watch from where I was, because there was it was towards the later rounds, we were like 7, 8, 9, when Fran, because she's cute with her shots, right? She was sinking her left to the body real nice. Yeah. And the shot was working for her. But it was like, once she then landed, it was like, now what? And then that's when Ellie went to work. And it was like, bah, 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 bah. And it was like, okay, now it's tie her up and then try and move again. I think that's where, again, for Fran, she is so talented. And when she was on the inside, it's like the start of it's there. But it's like, okay, where's the full stop on that? And especially when you've got someone like Ellie, who then would just go boom, straight on you from there. It was a challenge for her.
It's all that nitty-gritty stuff that you don't learn until you've been in the program for a long time. All of that, the clinching, the nudging someone off and then slipping one up the inside. Don't get me wrong, she can definitely get there. And like we said, she's so early in her career.
She's young as well, right?
She's like
young.
21. She's really young. She's a baby.
I feel old again. I feel old again.
But even Ellie, I thought she was brilliant. The only thing I would have wanted to see more from her was I felt like her head was on the centre line a lot. Yeah, especially in the first round. In the first round, Fran just picked her off with the jab. But I thought if she can learn to kind of move her head and take her head off the centre line when she throws shots, she'll be dangerous. And again, not many fights.
I'll tell you what as well, for Ellie, being in there, not to speak, it's part of the business side of stuff. And, Ellie's not exactly been on like loads of huge stages before. But I think another reason why they'd probably have her back, she had a lot of support in there.
Really?
She must have, like, so if I'm sat here, rings down on the other side of the ring walk, that entire left side was Ellie. Like, the entire left side was Ellie. And it wasn't, like, the copper box wasn't like jam-packed in there. I won't lie and be like, it was to the rafters. Because what's the capacity? Like 6,000-7,000?
About that, I think.
About that. There was probably, I don't know, 3.5, 4 in there. Like, it was a decent amount.
It's not bad, considering...
Azim dropped
exactly,
out. Yeah, he was injured. Considering that happened, there's probably about 3.5k in there. But that entire left side, she must have done 400 or 500 tickets, which ain't bad. Do you know what I mean?
Bad.
And considering, I know it might have got a boost. I've been moved to main event. Like this, it's a world title eliminator. Like, it was a big fight for her. But there's not a lot of people doing that many tickets. Do you know what I mean? Like that. Like,
I'd sell 2, and one of them would be to you. I hope you buy
I'd buy it, mate. I'd buy it. Don't worry. I'd buy it. And my wife, just so she could come and judge your kit.
That's my too.
So there you go. You're sorted. But she could sell tickets, definitely. I think she had a fan-friendly style, and it was good to see. I thought the rest of the card, what I saw, there's a guy on there. I don't know if you saw him. His name's Joel Kadua, right? He's trained by Tunde, Yard's trainer.
Yeah.
How they didn't pull that guy out.
I'm going to be honest. I watched Fran, her fight, this morning because I knew we were going to talk to her. I didn't watch the rest of the show. And actually, before we get on to Joel, the BBC need to sort out how they put it on the app.
It's difficult to find, isn't it?
I went on there and I saw you can go on to sport. And I'm thinking, it will come up. So I went on to sport. Basically just football and cricket.
Right.
There's no boxing. They haven't put the boxing on the sports section, which I think is weird.
Yeah.
So you've got to type in boxing, and then you've got to go and search for it.
You still got don't you think like it's odd for something that's meant to be, we are bringing this back? And I don't know, it's because like obviously you work a lot in boxing, you write for Ring, you do this, you do that, you're involved. Me as a fan, because I'm a fan and I'm listening to everything in BBC this and I listen to that interview and it's like, this should be a massive deal for them.
It should be a massive deal.
So you would think that they'd go on, they'd be pumping it and pushing it. Even when you're just watching BBC in general, when it's on, I'm not seeing like adverts of this Saturday, this is what's happening. Like it doesn't feel, it almost feels like, yeah, we'll have it, but it's just kind of there.
Yeah,
and I'm like, that's really weird because there is such an appetite for it. And if you're putting it on, like it was on BBC Two, right? I'm like, if it's on BBC Two on a prime time slot on a Saturday evening, like you should just promote it. You might as well. For it to not even be on the iPlayer sports section is odd to me.
No, I agree. They 100% need to be pushing it more. But even when I found it and I went onto it, I tried to look for the guy you told me to watch.
That Derek,
you can't. It's all one show, so they haven't split up the fights.
Right.
I'm being really pinicky here, but when you watch as much boxing as me, it's easy to just go highlights for that, extended highlights for that. Oh, I'm going to watch the whole show, or I'll just watch this fight. So BBC, if you're watching,
crack on with that.
Sort it out.
No shade, but I do get you, because that's one thing DAZN do really well on the app.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like every live event, live stream event, like the feed can get a bit fidgety and it kind of cuts out and comes back in and this and that. But if you subscribe and you're on the app, go into any fight, or whether it's highlights, extended highlights, this and that, play the whole event, and it's got each fight there. It's easy to access.
Easy.
Yeah, so I hear that. But so Joel was on relatively early, and for me, I think he won like performance of the night or something like that. I think fight of the night was Fran, performance of the night was Joel, and I think like stoppage was that greatest kid, which was it was like some shots to the body, which made me. I felt like I could see the dude's lung, like from where I was. I was like, oh, sweet Lord. But, Joel Kadua, like, he's trained by Tunde. And it's funny because you can see, like, I know Tunde, I'm a fan of his and Joel's and Yard's and all that stuff. But you can see why for boxing fans, especially like pure ones, it's like a love-hate relationship. Why some people really love him and some people just don't gel with... Because his personality can...
Joel or Tunde?
Tunde.
Right, okay.
Right.
I've known Tunde since I was about 14.
Really? Okay, cool.
He used to train or coach out of the Peacocks.
Right, okay, cool.
Yeah, and that's where I started. And he'd do mad things like... he had a boy called Otto who was like he was the next big thing, and he was like the next Mayweather. He even met the Mayweathers, and he used to take Otto to Greenwich Park and make him run around the park backwards. For real. I'm not joking. And he used to just make, as a kid, I was like, I think amazing. Like, he's a coach, he's training all these amazing boxers. But I love anyone that loves boxing. Yeah. If you love it, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I hope you love it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
and he's obsessive. Tunde is obsessed, and he really does want the best for his fighters.
I don't want to give like anything away. You probably don't say that. But like, obviously, when I go in the gym, and you'll have like whoever's there, whether it be Yard or Joel or whoever he's working with, he's got a notepad like this, mental, when everything's handwritten, and he's writing everything down and what they've done, how they've done it, this and that, because their pad routines. I sit there, I will start a session, and I'm 45 minutes in. And they haven't broke what they're doing. They're just going over and over and different this and different that. And I don't know the formula about what's coming up next, because the whole thing, it's not the same thing for 45 minutes. It's changing. So they obviously got some sort of trigger for what this punch means, that we're going into that sort of that routine, then going into that. And it obviously works for them to an extent. And then I think where it falls apart is when you start getting to that elite level, when being talented and fast and strong, like just that isn't enough, and you need a bit more. And then that's when I think fans get a bit aggy, because I remember it was like that. It was the Better BF fight, wasn't it? And he came back to the corner, he had a rough round, and he just screamed lines in the camp. And he went back out, and everyone was like, that wasn't helpful.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You know what? Looking at corner work is genuine. Apart from the fight itself, watching corner work is one of my favourite parts of watching boxing. I find it so interesting to see how different coaches approach the corner.
Yeah.
That is in itself, corner work is a piece of art.
100%.
Like, some coaches will be phenomenal in the gym. You know, they can really break things down. They can get you doing all the right things in the gym. They can talk you through how a training camp should go. But they kind of fall apart in the corner a little bit. It's almost like a pressure in itself.
Because it is pressure.
It is, yeah. You've got people say you've got 1 minute. You haven't really. You've got, by the time your fighter's sat down, you've given them some water and they've got back up to go, you've got more like 40 seconds.
Yeah.
So in that 40 seconds, you've got to look into your fighter's eyes, make sure they're all right if they're having a hard fight, and also get through to them what it is that you're seeing. Like, and also, not anyone, but a lot of boxing people can sit down and watch a fight 10 times over and write down things.
Yeah.
But these people are doing it then and there in the moment. Agreed. I think it's mad skills.
And let's not forget as well, watching it on TV. That's why sometimes I literally won't go to events, because I'm like, I'd rather watch it on TV because I can see more.
Unless I'm working, I don't go.
Yeah, I'm like, I can see more.
Unless I'm working or a friend's fighting, I don't go.
Yeah, because honestly, it's like when you're actually there, I think from the corner, sometimes I see people and they're like this, under that rope, moving around. So I'm like, it's actually hard to actually get from that angle. You've only got one angle. You're actually borderline too close. But you know what I'm trying to say? No, it's hard to take it all in. But anyway, Joel, he had a great night. He had a great night, great fight. I was thinking after about 4 or 5 rounds, I don't know why they ain't pulled this geezer out.
Really? It was that bad?
For me, yeah, don't get me wrong, he landed some big shots, which is, I don't know if it's a lack of concentration on Joel's part, but at one point, I'm pretty sure the commentator had said it, and I was like, yeah, that's a fairly accurate description. It looked like he was hitting a speedball. Like, it was like pat, 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 like he'd set a rhythm and he couldn't miss the shot. And in the end, I was thinking, ooh, you might, you know what I mean? It's just such a clear difference in level.
He's Commonwealth champion, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's English. I think he's Commonwealth. Definitely had the Southern area. Like, he's got a few belts on, and he's going up in levels, you know. But I think now you can't rush anything. But he's going to have to step up. He's going to have to step up. Yeah, especially he started to get a bit more popular with Boxer. Do you know what I mean? He's been on a few of their shows.
Yeah, I've been seeing his face a lot more lately.
He's starting to pop up more and more. You got Tunde, who's having these battles on TalkSport. Do you know what I mean? With Paul Smith and this and that. Like, the names get. He's just in the mix a lot more. So I'm really happy for him, and I hope that's the case. I hope he does just projection wise just keep going up. But overall, I thought the box show was a good show. I think actually being there is funny because ain't it funny in boxing how the perception of everything, everyone going, oh, the production isn't this, or this wasn't good, or that wasn't good since it's gone to BBC, they've got a lot to learn. But actually being there or fighting, I was like, it's a good night boxing. Like every other boxer show I've been to. I thought it was a good night, and then obviously I came straight out of there, and the first thing I did was log on to the zone to try and catch the end of Josh Kelly. Now, I've got Murtazaliev.
Yeah, just say it quick and then no one.
Yeah. So Josh Kelly, I call, again, funny how perception works. I watched from the end of round 9 at first. So I think Josh Kelly had just been dropped.
Right.
Didn't know that. So to me, I've logged on and gone, oh, okay, it's kind of what I thought. He's essentially running and in a weird way, running, but he can't at like weird angles where you're still kind of getting caught. And I was like, oh, maybe he's just tired. Like because I didn't have a narrative of the fight, I didn't know what had happened. So at the end, when he had won, so I'm driving home. My missus got it on her phone in the car next to me, and I'm like this, and then I saw that he won. Obviously buzzing because I feel like we went from having literally just Nick Ball as world champion.
Literally, I was thinking that today.
We've got Nick Ball, Fabio Wardley, Jazza Dickens, Josh Kelly. There's more.
The Irish guy.
Irish guy
from Northern Ireland. He beat Paddy.
Oh, Crocker. Lewis Crocker.
Yeah.
So like, we've just started adding more and more.
It's mad because I feel like not long ago people were so down on British boxing. Oh, we're in trouble. We've got one world champion, and then a few months later,
straight out of nowhere. So I was like, obviously buzzing for that, but I was like, I really want to watch the fight to see because obviously I don't have an idea of what's happened. And then when I watched it, and I saw him drop Murtazaliev in the 4th round. Murtazaliev, he dropped Murtazaliev in the 4th round. Obviously, and this is what annoys me. People be like, oh, that's not a knockdown. I'm like, rules are rules. Do you know what I mean? Just because he didn't land some big flush right hook and like spin his jaw and knocking, like, rules are rules. Like, cool, he was off balance. Cool, it wasn't even like a really stiff jab, was it? It was kind of like a little bit nothingy, but he got hit. It was a
completely fair knockdown.
Yeah, he got hit, he dropped, he gloves hit the canvas, that's it. Like, that's all there is to it. I think everyone expects a knockdown to be like what happened to him. You know, that left hook on the top of the head, and he was a bit like, whoa. But I thought like the first part of that fight, I'll be honest with you, I was really surprised by Josh Kelly. I was really surprised. And Murtazaliev kind of came forward, but Kelly was picking his shots well, was getting them off, and I felt like, I was like, wow, we're actually building a little bit of a lead these first few rounds. And then when he got the knockdown as well, I was like, yeah, you actually could do it. You could do this. Yeah. So I was really happy with that.
I mean, for me, it was a great fight to watch because it's one of those ones where you're kind of thinking it could the momentum could change here at any moment, and it did a few times. But it's mad because that fight really, for me, shows all those grey areas in boxing that matter so much. And what I mean by that is, I think a lot of people thought Murtazaliev is the boogeyman in boxing.
Yeah.
He's going to come forward, he's going to hunt you down, and that's it.
Was it Tim Tszyu he beat? Who was it he beat?
He beat Tim Tszyu.
And then he kind of got frozen out a little bit, right? He just didn't really fight. Yeah.
And loads. Apparently, he's been stepping aside for years now.
Okay.
Like literally one of the most avoided fighters in boxing. And also, I think people have this idea of Josh Kelly as somebody who blasts himself out after 4, 5, 6 rounds.
Yeah.
But first of all, he's moved up in weight, and I think possibly that made a massive difference. Also, looking at Murtazaliev, yes, he beat Tim Tszyu, but was Tim Tszyu as good?
Yeah, was Tim Tszyu. Yeah.
You know, he's got that Tszyu name, so he's got that hype. But was he the person everyone thought he was? At the moment, it's looking like, no, he wasn't who we thought he was. So, I mean, it's a huge win. You can't... you can't. I was trying to think what's bigger. Is the win for Kelly bigger or the win for Dalton Smith bigger?
And I think it's a weird one, right? Because Dalton Smith... I think doing what he did, I think the fact that whole fight was tarred with the head brush, like, do you know what I mean? I think that's difficult because I was buzzing for Dalton Smith. I love, like, you know, that whole Steel City gym, Grant Smith. You see, even when you just see like training videos and stuff, you're just like, fucking hell, like, it'd be so sick to be a part of that. Do you know what I mean? And that whole dynamic between him and his dad, really, really cool. I think what's weird, the thing that's kind of almost... and I don't mean this disrespectfully in the slightest, kind of tarred the win for Kelly with me is that before I saw Eddie Hearn said he signed to fight Boots if he wins. Yeah, that was sort of like the golden ticket, like big money fight Boots. It almost feels like, because I could be wrong, because I won't lie, I picked against Josh for this. I wanted him to win, but I picked against him. I thought, I'm not sure. I think he's probably going to go to Murtazaliev. It feels like he's gone, yeah, thank you for the belt, to then pass it across. And it's kind of tarred it a little bit because I'm like, you've got options. You have got options. I do think the 154 division, in terms of like if I think of any other division in boxing, it's probably for talent, probably one of the most stacked.
It's up there.
It's really up there, and it's like, oh shit, like, because again, once you start going down to the lighter weights, and you get people who like, it's like Bam is a freak because he can knock people out at his weight, and so he's got some attention. But like, once you like, you know, you got Bam, like lower weights Bam and new weight, like all these kind of guys, cool. But it's really when you start going up from welterweight up where people really start going, okay, like where's it happening? The fact that it's so talent rich and there's absolute killers in there who aren't even champions, it does make you go.
Nobody talks about him.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's nuts.
Like Boacek.
Yeah.
He's just drifting around in that weight division and nobody really talks about him, but he's an animal.
Absolute animal. And it makes me go, oof, it's a tough division to be a champion.
And keep the belt.
Keep the belt. So I understand why you've gone, okay, look, like Adam Booth, I think Adam Booth might be his manager as well, but like, we want to get the best deal possible. If we can sign to fight Boots for a lot of money, this and that. I think, and I know we're kind of drifting away from Josh here, and it kind of half links. We'll talk about the actual fight, but Teo and Shakur Stevenson. But I think one of the people at the moment with the most options in boxing, which I would say as a fighter, let's separate entertainment, what you've actually done and all this stuff.
I know what you're going to say.
Conor Benn has the most options I think I've seen for any fighter.
He could have got in the ring in both fights.
Mate, you could have got in the ring with anyone.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Between Josh Kelly, Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, I know you'd never do it, but even people keep asking, there's a rumour about 168 Chris Eubank Jr. again. Like, it's all these fighters who want to fight. And then obviously you've got Ryan Garcia, Rolly Romero, like, and what, 80% of these fights are world title fights.
Yeah.
And this is what I find tricky, because I know the first thing will be, he hasn't even won a British title. I think we all have to just accept that in this sport, not everyone's going to do a Dalton Smith and go the traditional route.
No.
Some people are just gonna jump past. They're just going to queue jump. And even that being said, when I look at Conor, from when he very first started, because I think he debuted like an AJ undercard, right? I think he debuted at the O2.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, the moment you turn pro, people, I think, as fans, were like, well, you're pro, so, and fair enough, we're buying tickets, we're tuning in to watch, like, we want something from you. But people like Conor, they are learning on the job. A few fights in Australia in a bingo hall doesn't mean that you're prepped for a pro. Like, you turned over because of who your dad is, and that's fine. He has put the graft in. I don't care what anyone says.
No,
he really
100%.
has. And I think when you're at that level, because everyone will always bring up the Paynard fights when he got dropped, right? I think, first of all, Paynard was a lot better than people gave him credit for. And then on the flip side, maybe Conor wasn't quite where everyone thought he was because he had some knockouts and his name's Ben. And I think the reason why Conor now, the improvement looked so drastic when he stopped, was it Jesse Vargas in the first round? You know, I mean, like, he set up that shot and it was mental.
Yeah, and he also got a good stoppage over Chris Algieri.
And
which I think everyone thought Chris Algieri would kind of at least take him the distance, because obviously former world champion.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen that way.
And then he had that Van Heerden fight. Then he had that guy, Sebastian something. But anyway, my point is, I think when you're kind of learning on the job, those, for some guys, like, I don't know, a Dalton Smith, for example, he has all that amateur pedigree done, and he's been fighting for a long time. Now he's really building his name, but, you know, he's been pro since, like, 2021, 2020.
He's had to earn it.
He's had to earn it,
Yeah.
right? So now he might have burst onto the scene, and then when you see him in a year or two, there won't be some... He'll get better, of course, he'll keep learning, but there won't be some huge jump in ability. When you burst onto the scene and you're a novice, in 6 months or a year, you can look like a completely different fighter.
100%.
And I think that's what's happened with Conor. I think his improvement has happened in front of everyone's eyes. And then that's why everyone's like, oh, why hasn't he gone down this route? Why hasn't he fought for that? Why hasn't he done this? Because if I remember correctly, wasn't he meant to, years ago, he was meant to have a British title fight, and I'm really trying to remember who it was with. It might be like Harry Scott. It was something like that, like a fight that he probably didn't want to take at the time.
No.
Do you know what I mean? But in summary, what I'm saying is who he is, how he's done it, and the way everything has kind of all transpired. If you think he's now going to go, yeah, do you know what? I know I'm getting paid coming on 10 million quid a fight, but what I'll do is I'll dive back and go and fight for a British. It's just not going to happen.
No,
he's at this stage now, and that's where he is.
I think ultimately, as fans, everyone needs to realise there's two selling points with boxing: what you can do in the ring and what you've achieved, and your star power.
Yeah.
that man is such a star.
No,
Look at
he
the way
is.
he looks. He looks like a movie star or
No,
like a
he
rock star.
does. And the way he looks, even the way he talks, a lot of people, bearing in mind, you're in Madison Square Garden, right? Maybe it was planned, maybe it wasn't. Even if it was planned, it didn't seem like it was. But Shakur Stevenson's just punched the life out of Teofimo.
Yeah.
Put on that show, you've got 20,000 people roaring, and then he goes, Conor, and you get in the ring, and then you own that moment.
And you know he can speak Spanish as well.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, when he starts doing that, like, I feel like such a fanboy because I go, oh, that is so sick. When he starts arguing, it's really cool.
The guy is cool, and also I think Shakur's dad is either Cuban or Puerto Rican.
Oh, really?
That's
Okay,
really bad,
okay, cool.
But it's one or the other, so I feel like they're gonna have little.
That is
Spanish
something going on. Yeah. Spanish.
I don't know.
I just pictured a bunch of salsa in. I was like, yeah.
It's going to be cool, 100%. But you're right. I mean, there's so many. There's no one in boxing that's got more options than this guy. It's insane. It's crazy.
And don't get me wrong, I'm buzzing for him. Like, I genuinely am. Like, I know the whole situation's a situation. It's been resolved. It's been resolved, maybe not publicly, that everyone knows the ins and outs, but it is what it is. And he's moving onwards and upwards. I think, and it is kind of crazy, because, of course, you look at the Shakur thing, and after, because it's the most recent sort of in-your-face thing, you're like, oh, imagine. But if that rumour's true, that he fights Rolly Romero April, May sort of time, and then September, Garcia in a unification if Garcia does beat Barrios, that is, I mean, what a year for him. What 2 years it would have been from last April to then November to this to that. And then if he, that's what I'm saying, because it's, the only thing I will say on those fights, which I do kind of go, and I could be wrong, again, when I said in the comments, people might disagree with me. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't understand why people shit on Rolly so much.
That last fight with Garcia, the guy done well.
And even with, like, I know he got knocked out by Javon, and this is boxing, right? People will remember the result unless it was like a really sharp. But like, it wasn't like some awful fight. Do you know what I mean? He was putting in work, putting in graft. Like, I don't know, like the way people talk about Rolly I do get a little bit confused. I'm like, maybe I'm missing something, because they talk about it like, well, yeah, we'll kind of walk through him. And I'm like, listen, I would want him to. I flipping hope he does. Like, that'd be cool. I hope he gets the belt.
Rolly's quite strong.
He is strong. Like, all over here is that he can punch as well.
I was about to say he used to play judo. That's not right, is it? He used to be a judoka. That's how you say it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's how
I learn something new every day. All right.
But like, he's got that proper physical wrestling strength. That's how I feel. And I think that's going to be a good fight.
Yeah, really good fight.
But if he managed, I mean, I wanted him to go down the route of not Romero. We just spoke about him. Who's the other guy? The champion.
Barrios.
Barrios. Because I thought he's got a legit chance at beating Barrios, and straight away you're a world champion. Get that under your belt, and then take the big name fights. But I mean, if you're looking at Barrios or Garcia, to be fair, with Garcia's last performance, who knows? It's all up in the air.
And I think this is what people struggle with when it comes with Garcia, and that's why I understand his route. In his head, he's like, if I say, oh, okay, I'm going to stay out, because when was that fight, the rematch with Eubank? November, right? Mm-hmm. Garcia fights Barrios Feb 21st. He ain't fighting again until end of summer, earliest. Do you know what I mean? That sort of August sort of time, September realistically. What, Conor's going to stay out the ring from November till then. Plus the fact, no disrespect to Ryan, because everyone's got their things going on, but he's not the most stable person that what comes to being on fights.
Conor himself was saying he's just a liability.
Oh, really? Oh, well, I think, oh God, that sounds harsh. I'll let Conor say, I'll just quote him. Yeah, liability is the right word. I think you don't know what's going to happen. So relying on, I'll wait for that big fight. I know you want the WBC title, but then you go, oh, okay, well then, do you fight Rolly if Rolly's up for it? It's still a big money fight, but where does that fight land? I know he's the champion.
Risk.
It is a big risk.
Like at that level, well, at any level really, but definitely at that level, it's constantly, your team and you as a fighter are constantly weighing up the risks. Is it worth it? Will I get past this guy to get to the one?
But then I think all of those fights probably minus Rolly, all of them are like if you manage to get through, he's got nowhere to go. That's an easy fight. Even though we say he's got loads of options, I don't think any of those options are easy, because if he was, and even then, we speak about Barrios like he's some geezer down the pub.
Terrible, yeah. He's still a world champion. Yeah.
But Barrios is fighting Garcia, so that title, that's not one of the fights. So when you look at his actual options on the table, Josh Kelly, Rolly Romero, he's he's sort of been frozen out as an option because they don't want him. But Lewis Crocker, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson. Even, it wouldn't shock me because Teofimo was talking about going up to welterweight to 147 if you then called him out. Like, everyone wants to fight Conor, but none of those fights are like, well, that's the obvious one, get that one done, and then we move on to... They're all difficult fights. Like,
they're all tough fights. Although I must say, I think Haney and Shakur, leave them. Leave those guys.
Yeah, I think they're tough fights.
Leave those two. They're freaks.
They are freaks. And speaking of Shakur, right, the dismantling of Teofimo,
the utter perfection.
It was almost disturbing to watch because no wonder Teofimo's dad's at the corner going, "What happened to your pal?" Because I'm like, mate, I don't know what else you say to him.
Before we get into the actual fight and how perfect Shakur was, Teo's dad was bullying him in the corner. Can we just get that right?
Teo's dad.
What happened to your power, yo?
Yeah. Teo sat there like this, eyes can't see, roughed up. Why are you doing this? You've got to hit him. Yeah, thanks for that, Dad. Yeah, I was going to make him a cup of tea.
That's the kind of thing. That's the level where you're at an amateur show, there's kids in the ring, and you've got a drunk uncle at the back saying, you've got to hit him.
Yeah.
That's
Use
the
your
level.
jab.
That's the level we're talking.
But it's difficult because I was like, obviously, it's not my job. As said at the start, not an expert. But I'm like, what advice do you give him?
I mean, listen, ultimately, he's in the ring with someone who I think is a generational talent.
Yeah.
Like, we speak about Floyd's and Andre Ward's. I genuinely think that's Shakur. Like, he's our generation.
I agree.
But, I mean, he could have at least... You've got to make the fight dirty, punch his arms, go to the body, step on his front foot. Like, don't abuse the guy. Do you know what I mean? Give him something to work with.
But that's what I thought was quite funny because I look at how Shakur was fighting and I'm like, how can you be so technically sound and defensively sound and still be employing some of them dark arts? Like, you saw him stepping on Teo's foot, you saw him not get him back. Like, his adjustment, like when he said, I'm going to show you I've got one of the best jabs in boxing, I was like, okay, like, you're Shakur, of course you've got a good jab. No, seriously, man, that jab was shit hot. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
The readjustment to then be constantly with someone like Teo, who's, well, really, Teo's best attribute is the fact that he's athletic, right? Mm-hmm. And he's explosive. And I found that, I always found it a bit weird because my first thing was, okay, well, Teo's dealt with southpaws. So that southpaw cheat code, not cheat code, depending on how you are with it, will it play into his favour? But when I think about the style of fighters they are, because everyone's like, oh, Shakur's not trickier than Lomachenko. I was like, yeah, but Lomachenko is kind of like, he's the opposite. He's kind of like a pressure fighter. Like, he doesn't fight like Shakur.
This is the thing. I was talking to someone the other day and someone was saying, well, he can handle southpaws. It's not going to be an issue. But you look at the two southpaws that everyone talks about as Loma and Josh.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't count the Loma win. I know that's really bad. You've got to give someone their due when they win a fight, ultimately. But he didn't throw a single punch.
Yeah.
He did throw a single punch. But he didn't throw a punch for the first 6 rounds. He was clearly injured. It's obvious.
Something was up,
It's obvious that was not the Lomachenko that we all think about when we think of Loma. So scrap that one off. And then Josh, equally, that was not the Josh that we think about when we think about the unified champion. He'd just come off the win to Catterall. So they're Teo's 2 massive wins. They're the 2 wins that in my head made him a superstar.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And like you said, as much as Loma is defensively incredible, one of the best to ever do it, he still does it on the front foot.
Yeah, it's
and
different.
almost rushes you with his angles. Completely different to Shakur. And I think what that fight teaches us, Shakur and Teo, a good athlete with exceptional boxing skills will beat an exceptional athlete with good boxing skills. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
My whole thing before that fight was, Teo is an exceptional athlete. Yes, his boxing IQ is up there. He's a great technical fighter compared to the regular world champion. But Shakur is not regular. Shakur is special. Like, that stuff that he was doing, he's making basic stuff look special. But it's just because he's doing everything perfect. Actually, today I saw on Instagram, somebody posted a video of after Shakur won the silver at the Olympics. Yeah. The boy is bawling. Like, he's crying his eyes out. He's gutted. Like, the interviewer was saying, you've just won a silver medal at the Olympics. And he's like, I've just lost.
I've lost the gold.
I've lost.
Oh, yeah, I haven't.
And then it skips to Saturday's fight. And it's like, that's a competitor.
Yeah, that mentality.
Yeah, he's special.
And it is really interesting, isn't it? Because you look at that and then you go, okay, what what next? Like, what do you do?
Who can take on this guy?
And that's the thing. Like, it's like, again, you've got to rate Conor, because there's a lot of people, right, who I find the mentality of a boxer super interesting. Like, super interesting. You know, as a master myself, as a 1-0 misfits fighter, 1-0, you know, with all my experience, I do find of like proper, like world level, elite level boxers, I find it interesting, because I do think there is a sense of self-belief and I can beat anyone. I really wholeheartedly believe that a lot of them do think like that. But I also do think that there's got to be, oh, I don't think I can win this. Like, deep down, do you really believe you can win this fight? Like, so I look at Conor. I'm not saying he's elite level yet. He hasn't proven himself at elite level. I'm not saying that. But when he gets in the ring and he shouts, and that's why I love it. It's entertaining. I enjoy it. But I'm like, let's break down what you said. You go back. You're in Brentwood in Essex. You're with Tony Sims, and you're like, right, let's get our game plan to beat Shakur Stevenson. Let's say, okay, that's the fight that gets signed. Right. Bearing in mind, even though I'm a big fan of Shakur Stevenson, you got to back the Brit. I like Conor. I know he's Marmite to a lot of people, but I'm like, oh, I think you're.
He's what boxing needs.
He's what boxing needs, 100%. Right? He's that character that boxing needs, especially British boxing. Go for it. I want to back him. So let's say that. All that being said, again, not my job. I'm not the pro trainer. But as Tony Sims, what do you say to beat him? How do you go about it?
Can you imagine you've got to sit there with your pen and paper,
review tape, and go, okay, let's break down Shakur Stevenson and what I'm going to do. And you know, I've heard Conor say it, the way he beat Eubank the second time, whether you want to call Eubank a husk of a man or severely weight drained or he was unwell or Conor says he's got IBS or whatever you want to flip and say. Fact is, he beat him, right?
Yeah.
It will never not sound funny saying IBS in regards to like I'm going to do 12 rounds, but I need to go loo first. Like, it always going to sound funny. No matter what you say, he did beat him. And the way he said he beat him, again, it's fair. He used his feints a lot more. He used his attributes. Feinting against Shakur Stevenson is not going to be enough. Do you see my point? Like, I know that you're explosive. I know that you're strong. And he said, his words were, you won't be able to keep me off of you. You can't punch. I'm like, yeah, but will you be able to get to him? Doesn't matter if you... Do you know what I'm trying to say?
But do you remember this is a Zepeda fight?
Yeah.
Zepeda's a great fighter.
Doesn't stop throwing, throws punches in punches. Yeah.
Zepeda is what I would say is a proven at elite level kind of version of Conor.
Yeah, I hear you.
And I was at that fight in New York, and honestly, it was almost like Shakur said, "You lot think I run? Watch this. Watch this. I'll make it fun. Just for this fight. I won't do it again." But it's just he's that special. He's that good. But yeah, the whole Conor thing is really intriguing to see how that's going to play out. I really hope he can get a good run under his belt.
Yeah,
we're going to have some crazy fights with him. That's for sure.
100%. I think out of those options that are there, I just want to think about it before I answer this one. I'm just double checking because Crocker's off the table. There's Garcia, but that's going to come later. So really,
they're going to give Kelly to Boots.
Well, if they're going to feed Kelly to Boots, that's again sounds disrespectful. But then
no, to be fair, because again I saw that too. I saw that apparently they'd promised if Kelly wins to make the Boots fight, and I thought to myself, will it be the same if Murtazalia wins?
Yeah, would have won. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. But on that, if Kelly's not an option, Crockett, I think his best option is Rolly Romero.
I agree.
I think it's probably the way to win it. And then you've got this huge unification with Garcia, depending what Garcia turns up. Because has Garcia actually... Oh, no, yeah, he has done. He has it at 4147. Because even though there was that weird catch rate at 4143, but he also got all that way. If Garcia turns up, best Garcia, what do you think happens with him and Conor?
This is a weird one, but when I think about the best Garcia, I think about when Garcia boxed Luke Campbell.
Yeah.
Luke Campbell was an unreal fighter.
And I think one of the best fighters who never won a belt. Mm-hmm. Like, it's crazy to think of how talented Luke Campbell was. But I'm like, when I think about it, when I say it reminds me of Yard in certain things, I'm like, some of his fights, like every time he went up for like a title, I'm like, he fought Lomachenko. Like, he had a rough run of trying to win a belt. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Like, he really had a rough run of trying to get a belt. But yeah, no, that fight with Luke, where was that?
It was in the UK, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was UK.
Yeah, and Luke was doing well. And he even dropped him. He dropped him.
Big, heavy drop. Like, you know when someone, they go down and their arms are behind their back and you're thinking, oh, your shoulders are going to hurt in the morning. Like, I thought, fuck, Garcia's done. Yeah. But he sucked him that body shot, didn't he? It was that liver shot and it was just
He's got such a weird style. I actually don't enjoy Garcia's style. It freaks me out a little bit, especially when he starts doing the weird
kind of
the Poundland shoulder roll kind of situation.
Yeah.
But best version of Garcia, I think his speed and power is going to be hard for anyone to deal with.
And I thought with Conor, what's interesting is I think he'll make 147. I know everyone's a bit worried about the Willie.
When there's 10 million.
You'll make 147. You'll make
147.
Yeah, I'll make 147 right now if I have to for that sort of money. But it's funny because I was thinking, is that kind of the segue to him and Josh Kelly, and it's 154 and it's that midpoint? But I'm pretty sure I saw it. I think he was on Ariel's show, and I'm 95% sure he was already like 155 or 156. Like he's like, yeah, I ran 10k this morning. I'm 156. I'm just trying to steadily make sure my weight's in a good place. And I'm like, if you're already there, like you're less than 10 pounds to go, and we're looking at a potential April date, you're still training, you eat right, he's not like he hasn't got the resource to have the right team around him, from a nutritional point of view, and then he's got strength and conditioning as well. I'm like, I think he'll make it. I'm not saying who knows how he'll feel when he's there.
The thing is, if they're floating these fights around, you would assume he can make it, right?
Of course.
But then a lot of people, like Tony Bellew always says, he's not making it.
Yeah.
He always says it.
Everyone goes, it's been 4 years since he last fought it. But that being said, I know it's been 4 years. I don't know. But Conor, they talk about Conor like he's Pacquiao. He's not 40 odd years old. And for one. And secondly, Conor's not that big of a dude. Like, he's not like a massive guy. Like,
I feel like he's shorter than me.
How tall are you?
5'8".
Yeah, no, I think he's about that.
Yeah.
He's about that. Or he'll say he's 5'8", he's being generous. Like, he's not a massive guy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Listen, 5'8", you could be 5'4", Conor. I'm not trying to
short
piss
kings.
you off, mate. Yeah, short kings, like, you can still fight. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying, So I think, genuinely, I reckon he'll make 147. Like I said, I don't know how he'll be when he's there. Because I remember that there was one fight. It might have been like the Chris Algieri fight. I can't remember what fight it was. But he came to the weigh-in. And I was like, whoa, like he looked drawn at one. It really shocked me because I was like, where he is so explosive and he comes into the ring looking like, on that weigh-in, it really did catch me off guard. I was like, wow, you do look a bit drawn. So 4 years out, having fought at 160. And I'll tell you the other thing that disturbs me about Conor Benn. He looks like he doesn't need a car. He looks like he could jump to and from the gym. His legs are about this flipping big, each one. Like he's not, obviously... It's not like he's got fat to lose, so he's going to have to cut whatever he has built to be, whatever he's built over the years.
Well, this is the thing. I'm sure he could do it, but it's what state will he be in if he does it?
Interesting.
And that's another grey area that we'll have to deal with.
Interesting stuff. Last thing I wanted to chat about as well, right, was we spoke about BBC not being able to find the stuff on the boxing. I know we kind of bounced around on this ep a little bit, but on the iPlayer and that. I'm really confused. Are the boxer shows now on DAZN as well or not?
So, I have been told that the only boxer stuff that's going to be on DAZN is outside of the UK.
Really?
I think so. And I think that makes sense because I saw someone in Ireland post a picture of the DAZN screen and they had the boxer stuff on it. We won't be able to find it. Because
when I went on the app, it was on the day. I was like, I can't see it. It's not there. But then I saw, like, when we, on the posters, it had, like, DAZN on it. And I was like, I'm so confused.
I think it's international.
Because it's got, like, you got, like, Riyadh season on the poster. It was even on the ring rope. I'm like, what? I don't know, between Ring Magazine, Riyadh season, DAZN, it feels like everyone's everywhere, but also I'm not quite sure who's got access to what and when. So internationally,
I think so. I can't. That's the only way I can work it out.
Okay.
Because otherwise, it doesn't make sense. And but what I can't make sense of is fine if their regular shows are internationally shown on DAZN. So let's say you're in America and you want to watch it, you want to watch a bit of Fran Hennessey, you put it on your DAZN. But I'm assuming they will be using DAZN as their pay-per-view platform.
Must be, and it'd make most sense in terms of what people are used to using to get their boxing, paying for it. But how does that
means
work?
It would be in the UK as well.
As well, yeah. But then, that being said, with no disrespect to boxer, currently, I mean, I'm looking at I think, what's the show coming up? I know it was meant to be Fisher and TKV, but now it's looking like TKV and Reactport, right? That's not going to be on pay-per-view, is it? Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, no disrespect, great fighters, and I'm excited to watch it, but it's not pay-per-view yet. Neither one of them are pay-per-view yet. the only person Boxer really has is Eubank Jr. to go pay-per-view, don't you think? Who else?
Yeah, I think they will try and start pushing Adam
Azim.
to pay-per-view.
Already?
I think so.
I just don't know. If I walk down the street and go, Adam Azim, how many people go, oh yeah. Like, even if you don't like boxing, right? Like, for example, I've got a few friends, right? For anyone who doesn't, I'm in a dance group called Diversity, but also talking about boxing, and, you know, that somehow works. But anyway, you might remember him. He's a kid with the afro and the glasses. Can't stand boxing. Doesn't like it. Yeah.
What?
Cannot stand it.
Why? Why not?
I think it's because I talk about it so much it annoys him.
Fair.
Right? So he just doesn't. He's not a fan of it whatsoever. But he'll go, bro, who's that guy I see who's like flipping, dodging all them punches and knocking people? Talk about Ben Whittaker,
Yeah.
right?
Fair.
So it always interests me because I always go, wow, like their followers have really grown or they've really blown up. But as a boxing fan, you know, I'll still talk about, you know, he struggled with Lee and Cameron. He's not quite at this level yet. And, you know, because he's well known, my mum will bring him up and talk to me like he's Muhammad Ali because he's the most well known to her at the moment.
Yeah, that's the thing. I live in a bubble.
Yeah, exactly. It's very easy to be in that.
So I'll be like thinking that every boxer is huge and everyone should know that.
So when you say a name, like when I say to him, I'm like, oh, you know, heard of Adam Azim? He'll be like, bro, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I was talking to him because it was in December. I was like, ain't it mad that Jai Opetaia, I'm having to get this UFC fight pass to watch his fight. That's where I watched his fight when he knocked that dude out. Flipping, you know, guy, you like, he had like a brain bleed, and the last one, like fractured part of his spine, crazy. I watched it on UFC Fight Pass in the UK to say you could watch it. I was like, ain't it mad? That's not even on like DAZN. He looked at me like I just spoke a different language. He was like, DAZN, over his head. UFC Fight Pass, whatever, over his head. Jai Opetaia, over his head. He was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
To me, it's crazy because to me, DAZN is huge.
DAZN's massive. Like, but I think if you're not into sport, and I literally outside of boxing, I'm not into any sport. And I think if you're in the UK and you like boxing and want to watch boxing, you have to know what DAZN is.
Yeah.
I've actually it's interesting how much it's grown in the last couple of years. Because a couple of years ago, this is going to sound so random, I was talking to Kirk from Coronation Street, right?
How do you do?
His name's Andy Wyman. He loves boxing. Okay,
Right.
This was in 2023, and we were chatting about, it was me, him, and funnily enough, Amir Khan, because Amir was speaking about, when I was in the jungle before I came out, and then I went and fought Crawford, and I brought a bunch of the cast over to come and watch it, and obviously it didn't work out too well for him with Crawford.
Yeah.
And he was chatting about that, and he was like, yeah, you know, because we were talking about fights being on DAZN, and it was when the Fury and Joshua fight, they were giving each other the deadline and stuff. And Andy, Kirk, had no idea what DAZN was. Even though he was telling me that he watches all the fights. So he'll go around like his brother-in-law's house and watch the fight. Don't know what he's watching it on.
Yeah.
He's just going there to watch the boxing. Do you know what I mean? Which I found that really interesting because in the last, I would say, the last couple of years, really, since Turkey and the Riyadh season and everything else, and there being so many more cards and stuff, I think DAZN has exploded even more than it already did.
No, 100% it has, but it's just mad how much the broadcasting scene has changed so much.
Yeah.
Because I remember it was just Sky.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like when we were growing up, it was Sky, and that's it.
Mm.
And then when DAZN come around, I was like, oh, this is interesting. But what's interesting is, to me, DAZN is huge, right? And when Zuffa announced that they're going with Paramount, I was like, Paramount?
Yeah.
I don't even have Paramount.
Yeah. Why would I have that?
Yeah, and I've had to get it now just because of Zuffa.
But
don't if you're in the UK because it's not on there.
Is it not?
No.
Oh, for God's sake.
So I signed up.
Back to UFC Fight Pass. Hopefully it's on there.
I signed up to Paramount thinking, I'm going to have to now because I've got to see what's going on.
Yeah.
It's not on there in the UK. They're still negotiating their UK platform.
It might be something for the other episode, but you're going to have to explain to me TKO, Zuffa Boxing. I'm pretty sure TKO owns Zuffa Boxing,
Yes.
and that's what that is. And then Turkey's obviously involved in it, but they're not wanting any belts. But then they've got Jai, and their first big fight is a unification fight, even though they don't. I'm so confused.
There's a
by
lot
the
of
whole
questions and not a lot of answers there.
Okay,
Yeah.
so everyone's a bit confused.
I think
it's not
everyone's
just me.
confused. TKO are like a parent company, and they own, again, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that know better than me.
Yeah, so if you do
I'm
know, let us know if anything,
tell
it'll help.
us.
Yeah.
But I think, this is how I see it, TKO own Zuffa, WWE, UFC,
Oh, wow,
all of these
okay.
massive,
Yeah,
they're
right.
real players. Turkey part owns Zuffa.
Okay, so he's involved.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
got Dana fronting it as a
Right.
front man.
Okay.
They originally said that they don't want anything to do with any of the other governing bodies, just the ring. But now, obviously, they've signed Jai, and his whole thing is obviously unify.
That's all he talks about, yeah.
And even when he made the post saying he's signed with Zuffa, he mentioned unifying. So the thing is, I think they're still going to try and get rid of the other governing bodies, but I think they're going to play the long game. And I think they've probably realised
It's not as easy as that.
these big dogs are not going to
roll over. Yeah, yeah.
And they're not, the fighters that they want on their cards are not going to say, yeah, don't worry about the WBC. I'll come and fight for the Zuffa belt that looks like it's been made in Toys R Us.
That's what I want. That's what I want. One last point, and we'll wrap up on this then, maybe. And it's about Jai Opetaia signing with Zuffa and hopefully getting these unifications. Isn't it interesting that even Eddie and a bunch of other people just like, yeah, I just didn't have anything for him. I couldn't deliver what you wanted.
Crazy.
And they're like, yeah, do you know what it is? Australia's a tough market. Britain's not. And every boxing fan I know in Britain loves Jai Opetaia.
Yeah.
What I just don't get his performances, his persona. I remember when he fought Jordan Thompson, I did the press conference for that, right? I was hosting that press conference. Not up on the desk, I was hosting like the stream. It was me and Darren Barker. And I can't remember, it might have been, I think it was in days when you just throw to Eddie. You know, because now they have like Jamie Ward or something, I don't do it, but it was like I'd throw to Eddie and Eddie would just handle the whole press conference on his own, right? And afterwards, it was like in your ear because you have like a little earpiece in, don't you? But the producer is like, okay, Jai Opetaia's going to come over and we're just going to interview him, 5-10 questions, keep him there for like 10-12 minutes till we feel. And then when Jordan Thompson's ready, we'll bring Jordan over as well. I said, okay, no problem. I've never interviewed someone more intense.
Mate, the guy is scary.
Intense dude. Like, you're talking, and Ruth, you'll know this. You speak to a lot of fighters, and I'm going to do this. I've had the best camp. I'm going to knock him out. I don't see how he wins. I'm going to stop him. And you're like, yeah. Like, there's a list of maybe 20, 30 quotes that we've all heard that every fighter recycles. Jai Opetaia is the only person I've ever heard say something, and I thought, oh, fuck me. If I was Jordan Thompson, I'd be like, hey, I don't want to do this.
The guy is so scary.
It's in your eyes, and he means it.
He's so intimidating. I interviewed him once, probably about 2 years, no, maybe a year ago. I was petrified. I was petrified. Like, I asked him some really light-hearted questions. Like, genuinely, one of the questions was, what would you get, any advice you would give to a younger boxer? Keep your hands up.
Cheers, man.
Thanks.
Cheers. And I'm like, I don't want to follow it up for us to keep my hands up.
Yeah, like he's got this stare, and it's like he doesn't. I don't care about money. I just want to fight. I just want to fight. He's scary, but it's part of his persona.
And that's what I don't understand. As a boxing fan, that kind of menacing, but like you think, fuck, like that dude, like going into fight, and he delivers. He gives results. So, and even the fights, that last one that you had. It wasn't Sin Cara, that was one before. The very last one he had in December of that like UFC fight pass, he's sort of under the radar almost, which is crazy. It was like the second or third round. He got hurt as well. Like when I went, I was like, fucking hell, like Jai Opetaia's hurt. Like, and obviously he comes back, like the fights are entertaining, he delivers results, the persona's there. As a fan, we all know there will be certain fighters who will tell you the truth. Look, man, if it makes money, it makes sense. And you kind of respect that. And then on the flip side, there'll be fighters like, I just want to fight, and there's part of you that kind of doesn't believe it. No, that dude wants to fight. I don't understand how everyone's not behind him.
It doesn't make any. Yeah, I saw that as well. And Eddie Hearn did an interview, and he basically said, "I'm pretty. I hope I'm not taking this out of context. I'm pretty sure he said, every show you do with him will lose money."
Yeah.
That makes no sense to me.
And he also said he's taking tiny money. He's not even being paid a lot.
Apparently, Paulie Malignaggi went to Australia, came back, and he was like, "Well, now I know why Zuffa have signed him, because he's happy to fight for peanuts. He just wants to fight."
He's crazy.
It is mental.
And if someone's got that mentality, like, yeah, I'll just fight. Like, I understand, because I never heard Chris Billam-Smith's side of this. I never heard CBS say anything. But remember there was that sort of viral interview, and I'm like, on TalkSport, please stop swearing. And Jai just kept going, oh, fuck it, but he just kept swearing. I don't get that, like, if he's like, no, I'm saying this publicly, take the million, have the money. I just want to fight. CBS didn't even have a belt then. He's like, I just want to fight and get myself in the position to have them title fights, take the money. listen, if I'm Chris Billam-Smith, I understand why he's like, well, no, I'd rather go and fight someone else, actually. Cheers. Like, I also understand it. Like, I do hear that. But I think it's interesting that there's just not enough noise spoken. I look at every major platform that likes boxing, whether it be Talk Boxing, whether it be, I don't know, On DAZN, whether it be Aerial. Everyone knows who Jai Opetaia is. Everyone speaks about him. His name's known. You speak to an actual boxing fan, they'll know who he is. I just don't get the push. And I think that is why I said we'll wrap up on it. It dials all the way back to when you've got what you can do in the ring. And even though Jai does have the appeal, what you can do in the ring and your star power outside of it, because it doesn't matter. That guy could be undisputed. He beat Marius Bradus twice. He's done this. He's done that. If you haven't got that star power, it don't make sense commercially going forward.
But you know what I think it's similar to? Do you remember the first Better Biev and Bivol fight?
Yep.
No one was going to put that on. Turkey had to do it.
Yeah.
It was one of those, it's like a trade fight. We all know it's epic and these two men are special and we're dying to see them in the ring together. But they deserve big money, but nobody's willing to pay it. I feel like Jai is kind of, and Ramirez is similar to that. I'm devastated that apparently Ramirez is going to fight the monster.
Yeah, Benavidez. Yeah, no, that is happening.
Don't get me wrong, that's a great fight, but I need to see Ramirez and Jai.
No, I completely agree. Like, I'm like, why? I feel like Jai, of all people, Jai's frozen out.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
And I'm like, and I get it to the extent of, okay, maybe people just don't want that fight because they don't want that smoke.
But is that something to do with Zuffa?
Again, we go around in circles. Like, that's my point. There's so many questions, and then I'm like, you brought up Bivol and Beterbiev. Very good point. I just don't see Turkey. Some of the fights he's agreed to put on and put money into, I don't see him not saying, look, I'll take some of that on for Opetaia because I think we can build him into whatever. Who knows, man? Who knows? But that's one thing. I know he's kind of like not really a trending topic right now, but if I'm honest, I hope we see Zuffa boxing really work out for Opetaia.
No, I hope so too.
Because I just don't understand why he's not doing more and why he's basically just having these tick-over fights. He's had 3 of them back to back. Do you know what I mean?
We always complain about not having enough stars in boxing, but there's one right there.
Yeah, he just needs to be, well, it's not even built. He just needs to give him a flipping fight and he'll build himself. Just give him the fight and he'll do
100% agree.
I've enjoyed that.
Me too.
That was good fun.
We need to put a timer on it next time because I feel like we just keep going otherwise.
Yeah, we just keep rambling. But hope you guys enjoyed it as well. I did say any opinions you disagree with, leave in the comments. What I'd actually love to see in the comments is everyone just agreeing with everything I've said. And it not being neutral at all, and that's the way we do it. But no, thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. We're going to try and do one a week, but obviously I'm not that busy. Jordan's pretty busy.
Schedule-wise, it's busy, but we'll try and do more next week, 100%.
We're going to try and do one every week, and maybe next time we'll try and be more structured. I feel like we was all over the place today.
Yeah, no, what we'll do is we'll get our points like we did before. We'll list them all, and then we'll just completely talk about everything. Exactly.
Yeah, we'll throw them out the window. But yeah, we hope you enjoyed it, and like Jordan said, comment, let us know what you thought, and we'll see you next week.
Catch you in a bit.